Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because it's a spending revolt. And people are not going to spend money. And before I get into it, please, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, share it, join our email list. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold. But before I get into it, I was going to cover something second. But I always get such great things from you guys in the mail. And Jesse, who always writes me and sends me newspaper clippings of different news stories. And some things I've covered, some things are new. But this one is very topical, and he really hit it out of the park this time. So one thing that is happening with tax preparers right now is, I didn't know this, okay? And one thing I was going to remind everybody of is that, you know, tax day around the country got moved to October 15th. And one thing that I always recommend that people do, and again, I have batted 1,000 on this. I recommend that you go talk to your tax preparer early, in the middle of the year. And you go talk to somebody and you say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how I earn my money. You know, am I on the right path? And I have never had somebody go, hey, Dan, that was a complete waste of money. Every single person that has ever done that has always written back to me and said, wow, I saved money, I'm changing this, I'm changing that, and it's been better. But here is something that is brand new, and that is there are these shady tax preparers that are out there. And again, Jesse sends me this stuff and mails it to the P.O. box, and the P.O. box address is below, guys, for you guys that want to send physical mail, as I love getting it. But think about this. I didn't know this, okay? One thing is that there's a thing called RAL, Refund Anticipation Loan, where people go out and they say, hey, you get an instant tax refund if you go with us. And it's not an instant tax refund. It's a loan from a bank, and it's got a high interest rate. And let's say that you're going to have a $4,000 refund. Well, listen, I can get you $3,500 today. How does that sound? Today. Okay, oh, I'd love that. So the money gets diverted, the tax preparer gets a chunk, and you know, it's not, you know, coming from, like, you know, the Franchise Tax Board or the IRS or anybody like that. It is coming from a bank. Now, what these shady people do, which I did not know, is that they go out and prepare tax refunds, and they charge very little to do it. Small fee to prepare your tax refund. And then they go out and they will take a percentage of the refund. Listen, the more I'm so good at this, I can save you more money, and I will get, you know, I get a commission from this, you know, 25%. And the problem with this is that these people do this to these unsuspecting low-income people, and 2 years later, the IRS comes back and says, wait a second, you owe $2,500 because you didn't have 6 kids. You didn't have an extra W-2 where you made another $12,000. These people make up forms, they make up dependents, they make up things that people don't have, because as the world gets smarter, the IRS is getting better at checking this stuff and making sure that you're not lying about this stuff. So you better have those 6 kids that you're talking about in your tax return. The problem with this is that they deal with, you know, let's just say less educated people sometimes that are poor, that don't get it. Just sign right here. And that's what they do, is they do this, which is really horrible. And if you read this story, they just basically flip open the return and say, okay, right there. See the signature line? Put your signature line right there. This is what you're getting back. Oh, wow, great. I'll mail the return for you. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll pay the postage too. Great. Okay? And the problem with it is people don't realize it. And like Jada Bones that was in here, she's sitting there talking about how 2 years later she gets, you know, a bill for $2,500 plus a $500 penalty because there was income on there that she didn't earn. And she contacts the IRS and they didn't even respond to her. Now, this is what's wild, is that they spoke to a taxpayer advocate who said, oh, tax preparation is the wild, wild west. Now, here in California, you have to have passed a class, been a, you know, a certified public accountant, an attorney, an enrolled agent. They have all these terms here in California for what these people need to be able to do this. But it's not like that everywhere. And again, the problem with it is that people work out of their house and people aren't enrolled agents. Or they will set up an office and say, listen, I'll meet you at Starbucks. And, you know, this was out of the Washington Post. This is great. So, but think about this. Of all these unscrupulous people that have done this, there have only been 2 people that lost their license during this time in the last year. Two. There are 70 people that were sanctioned tax preparers. And they call them ghost preparers. Read the stories, because as I started researching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Now, again, if you know of anybody that's going through this, read your tax return. You better read your tax return too, because you know, the thing that I keep learning about AI with accounting and with money and with everything is that the AI is just searching, searching for where you had a shortfall. And oh, well, wow, your rent, you know, you've had the rent at $9,000 a year for the last 5 years, and this year it was at $16,000. Why is that? You know, things like that, they're going to catch from now on, okay? But these unscrupulous people that are doing this, man, oh man, these people got away with this. And it's terrible. And they move from place to place, you know, and there's really nobody to complain to, you know, with the IRS, because they're so busy and so backlogged. And that's the other thing, guys, is that, you know, one thing my accountant taught me, because I was the victim of identity theft at one point, you know, 10 plus years ago. And, you know, you got to call the IRS, Dan. You got to talk to them. You know, let's find out. So it's been very good. And during COVID, when I was helping people get money and things like that, it was a great resource because, oh, use this number because they answer that one, and you don't wait on hold as long. And you have to do this. You have to call them. But if you have an accountant, that's their job. So this is terrible, guys. There are, think about this, tens of thousands of people every year that fall victim to this, that have to get this extra money taken, you know, that the IRS comes after. And there's really nothing you can do about it because, listen, Joan, you don't have 4 additional dependents. You're not entitled to that, you know, child tax credit that you got. And sometimes it's a lot of money, guys. So, you know, share your thoughts on this. But again, tax day for most people around the country, especially here in California because of the wildfires, they push things off to October 15th. It's very nice. You get a little bonus, you get a little breather room, and it's crazy. But man, oh man, this was just unbelievable. And thank you, Jesse, for sending me this. So, a lot more to cover in this video, and I moved this to the front just because it was so wild. Now, the title of this video we're going to cover, and that is, it is a spending revolt right now. And this is crazy because we're getting numbers right now that we've never seen ever. And there is an economic downturn right now. Bob Kudla from yesterday was talking about how, hey, listen, we're definitely in a recession. Jerome Powell, you know, yesterday steps forward and doesn't raise interest rates and says, but they're coming and inflation's, you know, going to be around. And then every other expert says we're going to see inflation for the next 2 years. Here's where the problem is right now, is that with the holiday season, this is when retailers and businesses need to have you step up and buy stuff. They need to put their best deals forward. They need to have it so that they can make the most amount of money. There's companies that do not make money year-round until they get to the holiday season. So this year, it's going to be a little different because Trustpilot is a survey company. Trustpilot interviewed 2,000 people that said, you know, what are you going to spend this year? Well, here's the thing. 34%, the highest ever, said, I'm not going to buy a gift for anybody. Okay? 41% of these people that were interviewed said they would consider buy now, pay later, which has got an incredibly high interest rate for this. People sit there and say, hey, listen, if you pay it off, it's free. And I've told you guys this story before. I knew someone that owned a TV store that was very famous, and Paul, the king of big screen, I am the king, that guy would have, you know, 6 months, same as cash, come get your big screen. This is when big screens were $3,000, $5,000. And he would sell it, but they had almost 70% of those people that did not pay the loans off and were hit with interest during that time. And it was a killer for these people because they just got clobbered during this time for taking that loans and making some partial payments and not paying the thing off. This is bad right now because people don't have the money. 25% of the people said, 1 in 4 said that they're going to hit the credit cards this year and go into credit card debt for 2024 for the holiday season. Guys, the best thing you can do is not do that. The best thing that you can do is not be in debt. I'm telling you, the best gifts are the thoughtful gifts. When you guys write me a letter, you send me a card, you write that and you send that and you lick that envelope and you put it on a stamp on it and you send it in the mail. It's always so thoughtful to get that. Hey Dan, buy yourself a cup of coffee, the small donations, everything you guys send me, the shirts, the gifts, Jesse sending me that thing. I mean, the time to do that, it's a big deal, guys, and I appreciate that. People want that more than, what'd you get me? What'd you buy me? Okay, remember that. So, but these statistics are staggering. I mean, absolutely crazy, you know. 1 in 3, this is the smartest thing. 1 in 3 people said they need a side hustle to pay for things right now. I'm telling you, guys, what are you good at? What do you know right now? Go out and sell your expertise. What is your hobby? What is it? Okay? Is it fishing? Is it crocheting? I always talk about this woman that, gives classes on how to do crocheting, wrote books on it, and makes an extra 10 grand a month doing that. I've seen so many things that people have done. How to get money, how to borrow money, marketing, how to fix cars, everything, okay? But now is the time to do that. People want the knowledge. They want this information, and they don't want to be in debt right now, and they're worried about that, Again, I'm sorry, 41% said they're going to opt out of physical gifts, And then the other one that's sad is 38% of the people said that they don't want to do, white elephant and Secret Santa stuff right now because they can't afford it, which is embarrassing. It's terrible that people are living this life and it's this tight and this tough for people right now. And again, we're going to see the most expensive Thanksgiving, the most expensive Christmas, and you're going to see more and more retailers go out of business during this time, more than you've ever seen in your life. You're going to see companies merge, and it's not going to be, hey, isn't this great? We're building the greatest supermarket or retail chain. You're going to see this out of pure 100% desperation from these people. That's what's going to happen. But you're not alone with this right now, as far as the finances and as far as things being upside down right now. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. One thing that Bob had brought up yesterday was that we need to get ourselves ready for what the Fed is doing right now. And with the Fed holding and telling us that they're most likely going to continue to raise interest rates, you've got a little bit of a break. And you've got time to get yourself ready and to get your retirement portfolio in order before it's too late. You need to look at physical metals in your retirement portfolio. The best place to do that is Patriot Gold Group. They're #1 rated for over 7 years in a row now, guys. They have the best-in-class service. They are fantastic. I love these people as far as the customer service. I'm not just a spokesman, I'm a client of theirs. Call them today, 888-330-1431, and look at physical metals. They sell everything. They sell gold, they sell silver, platinum, palladium. They've got it all. But do it before it's too late. But call them. It's no obligation, and they will send you out a free investor guide to show you how an IRA or 401k that's backed by physical metals can help you. Plus, if you just want to buy metals, a great place to call. Call them today, 888-330-1431, before it's too late. Since yesterday, I've had so many of you send me stories about the price of oil. and gas prices. And I've had TikTok sent to me where we're seeing gas at $8 a gallon in some areas in California. There's one place in Northern California, someone said they saw $9 a gallon. Send me the photos, guys. Send me the photos, because it's going to hit $10. We're going to see $10 gas. But the difference with the supply chain issues this time is that it's not going to be the same. If we see $100 gallon gas, it's going to be much higher. If we see 125, 150 as far as the per barrel price of oil, it's going to be exponentially higher now because of the supply chain issues that we have. Home building. Home building starts for the month of August was off to the lowest level since 2020 right now. And again, everybody was feverishly buying houses. They're talking about it only being 1.26 million houses out there under construction, and it's not enough, and it's off. But here's the thing, guys. I don't care if if you're one of these naysayers that thinks that, oh, it's going to continue to go up, down. They're going to cut interest rates in the next 6 months, and it's going to completely revert. Okay, let's play that game. Lennar Homes is arguably one of the biggest home builders in America, Fortune 500 home builder, in fact. They are desperate. And certain things that they don't share with us right now are how many homes are that are completed are not sold. Because what happened last month, it's not just Lennar, it's all the home builders. There were 60,000 home contracts that were canceled. 60,000. Hey, honey, let's buy this house. You put a deposit down, you make that decision, you have those sleepless nights, you grit your teeth and you write that check for that deposit. 60,000 people backed out of that. Okay? Now, did everybody get their money back? No, they didn't. So problems. We've seen desperate things from home builders where prices shot up exponentially and people waited 6-8 months longer than they were supposed to, and the home builders canceled their contracts and then resold the houses for more money because they're degenerates. Well, now Lennar Homes steps forward. Think about this. In Colorado, it is one of the toughest home markets in the country. Why? It shot up a ton, Dan. No, it's also gone down a ton right now. It has dropped off the face of the earth, okay? It is the levels of price decreases are one of the largest in the countries in Colorado. What are they doing? Between September 18th and September 25th of this month, they will guarantee you an interest rate of 4.25%, okay? But you have to close escrow by the end of next month, okay? You guys can get a home loan in the state of Colorado for 4.25%. Guys, to buy down a rate would be so expensive, but because they have so much inventory, this is the beginning of it. So, incredible. If you live in Colorado, you have a relative that lives in Colorado and they want to buy a home, go to Lennar. Lennar is a decent home builder, okay? They really are. And I know a lot of people that sell them products and things like that. And but times they're a-changing right now. But 1 week only. So if this works out, you'll see it more places. So this is just crazy right now, guys. 4.25% to buy a new home in the state of Colorado from Lennar Homes right now. Whoa. Now, the rental market, things that keep getting sent to me. We talked about concessions, we talked about deals. Michael, a real estate agent, 3 years ago, Michael, when are we going to see a downturn, and what do you look for? Well, what you look for, Dan, is free rent. When you have large apartment complexes offering discounts and free rent, that's when you know the real estate market has turned. And this guy's been doing this for 40 years, so I kind of listen to this guy. But one thing that's crazy, guys, is you're starting to see concessions. Their rents are dropping off and they're giving deal upon deal upon deal right now for people to get themselves into rental units right now. It's happening all over. And yeah, you're seeing some stuff still close escrow above listing and above asking price, but man, oh man, it's not happening. You're seeing more and more things on the market longer, and the car insurance problem is huge. The insurance problem with rental policies. State Farm doesn't even write rental policies in California. And I'm telling you, if you guys rent a place and don't have renter's insurance, it was the cheapest thing you could get on the planet. It really was. It was so inexpensive, you're crazy. With your idiot neighbor driving, his Tesla into his garage and it catches on fire and burns your place down and all your stuff's in it. Oh well, you can't get that insurance right now with a lot of people. There's those pedal bikes I showed you guys a few weeks ago. But guys, all the concessions, everything's being done. So it's just, it's not glacier paced yet, but it's getting there. And it's getting concerning. But share your thoughts on all this stuff. What do you guys think about Lennar Homes offering, such steep discounts? I think it's crazy right now. Do a little follow-up from a couple days ago, and Chicago, good news, they've got their first person that was released on cashless bail. Esmeralda Aguilar, okay, she went to an Independence Day party that got out of hand, okay, and she decided that she wanted to confront the police, and she pepper sprayed 4 cops, okay, crazy, okay. But guess what? No bail. She gets arrested, and they give her a parking ticket, and she gets sent home. So, congratulations. Commit a felony. I'm laughing at the absurdity of this, okay? Because what stops a person from doing this again? Okay? Nothing. Show up in 6 months. Here's your ticket. They've got all the wild peacocks out here. Michael sends me a letter from Capital One. Michael says, Dan, I have good credit, and this is what I got in the mail today. It was a new Capital One offer, and look at the interest rate. And guys, get used to this, because this is going to be the shape of things to come. And I don't care if you're 820, okay? You're going to see some, that's FICO score, guys, is what I was referencing. I don't care if you're 820, you're going to see numbers like this, 30.4%, okay, for a credit card. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, the problem with this is that people, let's get this. And the other thing is that they're starting to do more with credit cards that they didn't do before was, hey, if you're approved, we'll send you checks in advance where you can hit your credit line immediately. So if somebody's desperate, somebody's behind, they're going to write those checks. The greatest identity theft thing that I ever witnessed was a friend of mine who was a private investigator who we were in the same building together, and they used to do a central mail drop-off on Saturdays, and the building was closed on Saturdays, so they dropped the mail off on Saturday, and it would just sit there, and the thieves went out and pulled all the credit card offers. This was in the 90s, because I'm an old guy, and this one guy had checks written against his account, went to go buy his wife dinner, and couldn't, okay, because thieves had written like $8 grand worth of checks against his account, okay? Isn't that crazy? So that's coming. Citibank, okay, they just announced that they're going to have a new token, that they're going to tokenize your money, and it's going to be Citi tokens, okay? Nobody asked for this. So it's a digital token of your money. No, I don't want that. I want money for my money. I want cash for my money. I want greenery, man. Come on. So this is the shape of things to come. We've done all the tests. This is great. Now, who is going to be next? Okay? Let me see. Let me guess. Okay? The guy that I just can't stand, that blue blood country club clown. Okay? And I didn't swear. Okay? So, Jamie Dimon. Okay? JP Morgan is testing this. Now I want to remind you guys of 2 years ago. Listen, cryptocurrencies are a joke. They're backed by nothing. I like money that's backed by central banks. Well, they're working on their own token right now. So times they're changing, right? You're going to have digital dollars for your Chase money in just a matter of time. This is insane. This is absolutely nuts that we're seeing this right now. And that's what's happening. So Citibank does it. Read the story below because it's crazy about this. And people are like, I don't want my money tokenized. And again, it'll be instantaneous payments. Well, no, guys, I can go to the ball game and use my card, and guess what? They give me the beer. Oh my gosh, it's instantaneous. You got credit. Approved. Have a nice day. I don't need to have it tokenized. Now, again, cryptocurrencies are bad. Digital tokens are bad. Altcoins are bad. No, they're great. They're fantastic. Fantastic. Okay? JP Morgan's next. And again, I'm going to find the story from 2 years ago, and I'm going to shove it down Jamie Dimon's throat and talk about this a lot. But again, I'm sure he doesn't watch iAllegedly. I'd love to have him on. Wouldn't you guys love to see me with Jamie Dimon doing a little walk with Uncle Jamie? It's kind of dirty. My shoes are getting dirty, Dan. Yeah, they do, Jamie. That's what happens. So, share your thoughts, guys. Share your thoughts. But tokenized money from Citibank. There you go. There you go. I'm going to finish this video with these last couple stories. And the first one is FTX. As we learn more and more of this stuff that they did, man, it's awesome. It's just so good. Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried are Sam Bankman-Fried's parents. And a couple things about Joseph Bankman. He loved Larry David. He was such a huge fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. When they hired Larry David to be in their commercial, he wanted to be on set. Oh my gosh, can I be an extra? How do I get part of this? And they were like, no, you're not an actor, you're an imbecile, and no, okay? So the other thing was when they gave $5.5 million to Stanford University, the dad said, this is kind of too close to home, guys. We need to, keep this under the radar, because they were both working at Stanford, okay, at the time, as they gave $5.5 million to the university. Now here's the thing, guys. Think about this. If you had $5.5 million invested properly, you'd never need to work again. So Stanford, late last night, announced that they were going to give the money back and return it. So that's good. Final thing. Solomon is selling at a steep loss their home improvement lender, Green Sky. Solomon Brothers paid, think about this, they paid $2 billion for this home improvement lender that they say right now that they will get at the most $500 million. That, crazy, guys. So what you're seeing is, again, home improvements off. People can't afford the steep interest rates. It's a complete disaster. So, one final thing. I kind of made a mistake yesterday when I was sitting there interviewing Bob, and I talked about a website. That's why the video got taken down and put back up, was I said the wrong name of the website that Bob had set up. So please, guys, go take a look at Dan Loves Trading, danlovestrading.com, because that's the right place. And Bob's a good guy, and for me to hijack him and his wife's lunch, I really appreciate that. But take a look at danlovestrading.com. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the email list, and if you want to email me, hello@iAllegedly. I will see you guys very soon.